I'd like to call to order the the Town of Atikokan Council meeting, 81st meeting of the 40th Council, January 12th, 2026. And the first order of business is a moment of reflection. Thank you, and I'd just like to add for the moment of reflection, the town had a tragic incident that happened the morning of January 1st where a young fellow lost his life on a snow machine accident, and our hearts go out to the family for this this tragedy, and we hope that they're doing well. So additions and approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Stimson, seconded by Councillor Shine. Resolved that the agenda for the 81st meeting of the 40th Council be approved as presented. In favor? Carried. Next is disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. It could be declared now or any time during the meeting. We'll pause and have a look, and nobody's putting their hand up. And next is minutes of the previous meeting. Committee of the Whole meeting minutes for November 24th. Moved by Councillor Shine, second by Councillor Stimson. Resolved that the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held November 24th, 2025 be received and filed. In favor? Carried. Next is the meeting minutes for November 24th. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Lyons. Resolved that the minutes of the 79th Council of the 79th meeting of the 40th Council held November 24th, 2025 be adopted as written. In favor? Carried. Next is the in-camera meeting minutes from November 24th. Moved by Councillor Stimson, seconded by Councillor Shine. Resolved that the minutes of the in-camera meeting held November 24th, 2025 be adopted as written. In favor? Carried. And lastly, the special meeting minutes for December 18th, 16th. Moved by Councillor Shine, second by Councillor Stimson. Resolved that the minutes of the 80th meeting of the 40th Council held December 16th, 2025 be adopted as written. In favor? Carried. Is there any matters arising out of these minutes anyone would like to discuss? Yes, Councillor Shine. Speak to that, Jason?
So the mayor and I did attend the RRDMA AGM on Saturday. The resolution was presented to the membership as a whole. Mayor Ferguson did speak kind of to the reason as to why. I would say, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of buy-in for that. I think for most of the participants in the region, they feel like it's a worthy to go to each municipality to have the conference there. We did have the president of the Kenora League. He was invited to speak, and Kenora does rotate them around, but they hold a 2-day conference, and people stay for 2 nights. So for them, there's value in that because they are bringing economic value to the different municipalities. For ours, for example, the mayor and I, drove into Nestor Falls, had the event, and then left. But they did say that the executive was going to have a discussion. It's up to the executive where the annual meetings will be held. So we'll see if there's some buy-in there. But in time of year, they felt that early January was sometimes a better time to travel than the spring, just because the fluctuation in weather in the springtime, and they felt like early January was, usually pretty cold and good traveling weather. So unfortunately, no, I feel like there wasn't a lot of pickup, but we'll see what the decisions the executive make for next year. But I do believe that it is scheduled still for January 9th of 2027. They just haven't announced a location yet. Yep.
Yes, Councillor Stimson.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. I know we talked about Moonbeam's resolution that they were looking people to pass, and we said we would do some digging into it. I'm just wondering if the councillors can do that, and we can add that to the next meeting.
Okay, duly noted. Councillor Shine.
Yes, you had asked me to look into that, so I reached out to Renee Perry through the Ministry of Natural Resources. I gave her my email. I told her what we were looking for, and I'm just waiting for a response from her as to what kind of herbicides are used here and where they're sprayed.
And I think
Progress did an awesome job.
reported a lot, there's a lot of information reported in the paper as well, but.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Stimson.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. Yeah, that was a pretty good article Mike put in, but all you have to do is go and Google glyphosate, and it'll tell you all the uses of it. It is actually called Roundup in the old days, but it'll give you what it can do and the problems with it and that. So.
Councillor Shine.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. When I sent my message to Renee at the ministry, I did ask her to name them, what the hazards were for health-wise, and where they are sprayed. Because I know that's what we're looking for as a report, correct?
But we do have to remember that's a ministry that's going to be given that, and they're the ones who use it.
Any other minutes arising or issues arising from the minutes? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to Committee of the Whole reports. Administration and Employee Relations, bylaw number 0-21, alternate voting method. Clerk Bates. -26. Yeah. The first one of the year. Congratulations. This was discussed last meeting, so moved by Councillor Lyon, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolve that bylaw number 01-26, being a bylaw to authorize the use of telephone and internet voting for the municipality and school board elections to be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Any other discussion? In favor? Carried. And next is bylaw number 02-26, agreement with Simply Voting. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Lyons. Resolve that bylaw number 02-26 be a bylaw to enter into an agreement with Simply Voting, Inc. for internet and telephone voting be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. In favor? Carried. And election day is when, Council or Clerk?
October 26th.
That's correct. Next, we'll move to the supplementary committees. And the first one is Atikokan OPP Detachment Board, Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. The minutes are in front of you. I hope you all had a chance to read them. Just a couple of highlights that I'd like to mention that our detachment commander, Greg Given, will be giving up his post and he's moving to Thunder Bay. And Greg expressed great appreciation for working in the town of Atikokan, and he really likes the town, but he's a step up now. And there was one more thing. Oh, the OPP detachment here will be going to 24/7 coverage, and it won't affect the rate because we're on a per-call basis. So there shouldn't be addition to the budget. Any other questions? Yes, Brian.
Yeah, I just wondered, at these meetings at all, has it ever been brought up, the long delays in people going to court for charges? And wondering if there's anything the town can do, like send a letter to the judiciaries and asking them to see what they can do to speed things up. I've seen we still have people driving around town that have been nailed for impaired, and there's also people that, you know, they commit a crime, they get, you know, they got this first day bail still going on. And is there anything that the townships could get doing to send an email or whatever to the governments to get them to change things around and finally start taking these people's licenses when they're charged for impaired, and putting people in jail for crimes that have been done, drug trafficking, stuff like that? It's brutal to see Thunder Bay News Watch, the way they talk about people, just like it's a revolving door. And I think maybe it's time that the municipalities and the cities get together and send their thoughts to the government to try and do something about this.
Well, that's way beyond me, but what I will do at our next Police Services Board meeting, I will bring that up.
See if there's something that we can do to help things out. Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, as Clerk Bates pointed out, we did send a letter to the Solicitor General, the Ontario Solicitor General, on those points. And they are addressing what they, you know, loosely termed catch and release, where people get charged and the next day they're out and doing the same thing. So, and I think through NOMA, they're actually pushing that as well. Yes, Clerk Bates.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. The chair of the Police Service Board did receive a letter back. I will forward it to council, and it will be on the Police Service Board meeting at the end of this month too for discussion.
That's it, Councillor Johnson?
Yes. Sorry.
That's okay. Next up is Atikokan Public Library. Councillor Stimson.
Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. I had a discussion with our librarian, Sinclair, Tracy Sinclair, and we've decided that the minutes are old, and there's nothing really to report unless we're reporting about something that happened quite a while ago. So that'll be it until we have a meeting coming up here next Monday. So I'll have fresh stuff next meeting. Thank you.
Sure. Unless
Librarian Sinclair has something she wants to say on her own? No? All right, here we go.
Good. Any questions for Councillor Stimson regarding the library? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to Atikokan General Hospital Board. Councillor Knowles. Is anybody presenting in Councillor Knowles' stead? So we have the minutes in front of us. To Councillor Stimson's point, these are minutes from September 24th as well, so they can be read at your leisure. And so we'll move forward to District of Rainy River Services Board. Highlights from the November 20th meeting. I'll just touch on some of this stuff. So there's continued focus on stabilizing and increasing the staff with the paramedics. They have made some success moving on that, which was a good thing. We're not fully staffed yet, but the Basin EMO is open more than it's closed, which was a real contentious issue with the people in the district, but they are staffed, and they are majority of the time that it's open. There's also something that may be of interest was building building housing, affordable housing, and geared to income housing. So I attended a meeting through the NOSDA group with Ellis Dawn Community Builders Focus. So they are looking at housing. Unfortunately, the criteria is the building must be owned already by the DSAB. So if we're looking at doing something at North Star School, for instance, that wouldn't be included in the program because the DSAB doesn't own it right now. So DSAB does own a school. They own the old St. Michael's School on the corner of 5th and Frenette and Fort Francis. So that one did meet the criteria to move forward in the program. There may be a change, maybe phase 2 or phase 3 coming in the next few years, where Atikokan may have an opportunity, but they aren't moving forward on the first one yet. Any questions for November? And then we'll move to the highlights from the December 18th meeting. And there was some successful funding for child services, $107,000 to increase peer mentoring program and child care professional development. Fotheringham Court, something that's interesting for Atikokan. Fotheringham Court has an issue with the property. There's an engineering study to determine the extent of the slab settling and drainage issues in the area of the main floor laundry room and public washroom site. The study will provide a scope of work and a cost estimate for that. So I asked the question, is it severe over there, or is it just one area? And I was assured that right now it looks like it's just one area that is going to need some work. So it's not a catastrophic failure for Fotheringham, but it is work that needs to be done. And DSAB also received WSIB surplus rebate checks that will be put towards ambulance vehicle reserve and social housing reserves. And our next meeting for the DSAB is January 15th, 2026. Any questions regarding the DSAB? Nothing. When I talked about and I've said this before with our council, is WSIB surplus rebate checks. And when people think that health and safety is more of a cost center than something that we don't need to put money into, by doing that, by working, making the employees safe, doing the proper things, there is rebate checks available for good performance. So that's something that, health and safety is not only the right thing to do for our employees, but there's also an opportunity for rebates on that as well. And we'll be moving in camera now. And we'll be coming out of camera, or this will be it. Okay, moved by Councilor Lyon, seconded by Councilor Johnson. Resolved that this council committee proceed in camera in order to address the matter pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and also labor relations or employee negotiations. In favor of going into camera? Carried. And as we are not coming out, we'll move by Councilor Johnson, seconded by Councilor Lyons. Resolved that this meeting do now adjourn. In favor? Carried.